Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. Preparations are in full swing for the India Alliance meeting in Mumbai. In fact, a number of leaders have already reached Mumbai. People like Farooq Abdullah, Tejasvi Yadav, Lalu Prasad Yadav have already reached Mumbai. But the million dollar question which everyone is asking is that will the Mumbai meeting have tangible outcomes? From Bangalore to Mumbai, has the opposition strengthened itself further? Now, what about the convener? What will be the tangible outcomes in the sense that can it offer a progressive agenda to counter BJP? That's a question which everyone is asking. And after the Mumbai meeting, will opposition be in a position to say that they are almost ready to counter BJP? All this and much more over the next 20, 25 minutes. I'm joined by Javed Ansari, senior journalist. Thank you, sir, so much for joining. Sharad Gupta joins us, senior journalist, and also Sabah Naqvi, senior journalist, joins us. And let me begin with Javed Ansari. Javed what could be the possible outcomes of this Mumbai meeting? And will we be in a position to say that India alliance looks more strengthened and it looks more battle ready to counter BJP?
Look, India alliance has no choice but to get its act together and hasten its act. You can't meet once in a month and then hope to be battle ready. There are already straws on the wind in enough and more indications available that the government is that the BJP is toying with the idea of preponing the elections. So they can't be caught napping. They need to be ready. They ought to have been ready as of day before yesterday, but even now. So what I do expect to happen in Mumbai is they will announce the setting up of a coordination committee, uh, 11 or 12 member coordination committee. Also, the setting up of a secretariat in Delhi, which will be in charge of running day-to-day affairs, coordinating their media strategy, coordinating what should and what, and more importantly, what should not be said in public. They will, as far as the seat sharing arrangements are concerned, they will be bilateral. So if they are talking of Bengal, it will be primarily between Congress and Mamata Banerjee, and probably they will end up having some friendly fights or not so friendly fights as far as the left is concerned. Then is the question of what happens to the relationship between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in Punjab and in Delhi. That's also a problem that needs to be resolved. The state units on both sides want to go it alone, but the senior leadership knows better that unless they fight together, especially in Delhi, they will. If they fight separately, they will draw a blank. The other states, Tamil Nadu is not an issue, Bihar is not an issue, Jharkhand is not an issue, uh, Haryana, and then the states where the BJP and the Congress are squaring off with each other directly. That's not an issue because in the heartland, it's the Congress versus the BJP. Uh, the other parties don't matter. So all they can do is lend moral support rather than putting up their candidates. So these are issues which need to be. I do not think they will go ahead and announce the face of this alliance. They may probably announce a convener, but he will not necessarily be their prime ministerial candidate. I do believe that there is an idea, broad idea on who that person could be, but they will not, for tactical reasons, not announce it at this meeting.
Let me come to Sharadji now. What about the Sharad Pawar question? Everybody is saying, and if you've seen the itinerary of the program very carefully, Uddhav Thackeray has hosted a dinner tomorrow. Then the lunch is being hosted by Congress. But Sharad Pawar doesn't seem to be anywhere in a very concrete fashion in the picture. Now, does that mean that people are still? I mean, the alliance partners are looking at Sharad Pawar with some kind of a skepticism because, and will they be able to put enough pressure on him so that he can come out categorically with where he stands currently? I'll come to you, Javiji. Yes, Sharaji.
Actually, Sharad Pawar is one of the most uh, rather sharpest politicians in India today, and the way he has faced the rebellion within his ranks, the way he's countering it. On one hand, he's saying that there is no split, so and on the other, he's uh, trying to cobble up a, say, opposition alliance. Is strengthening his favor of strengthening India alliance. And since he is the host, he may not be hosting a lunch or dinner, but he is very much there. So the posturing about his no split in his party, that's more to do with the arguments, the case in front, before the election commission, because he has already seen what has happened to Shinde faction and Uddhav faction. Is uh, the verdict from election commission went in favor of Shinde because there were more elected representatives there. So that's why he's saying no, there is no split. It's just some people have gone astray and they are going to come back. So that's one thing. But I think he is very much integral part of the India alliance and he'll remain so. And he is going to work. But the only question is whether India alliance is going to elect its convener and as well as the chief chief supremo is we were expecting the chairperson post will go to Sonia Gandhi and there will be contention between Mallikarjun Kharge and Nitish Kumar for convener. But as of now, I'm not really sure whether anybody from Gandhi family is going to take any position in the alliance. So that way, and whether there will be two posts of chairperson and convener, there could be just one post also. So there's a lot of things to catch up. But as Javed just now pointed out, and I'm also very skeptical that the government might go for an early poll and India alliance might be caught back. So they have to get their acts together very quickly.
Right. Okay. Javiji, you were raising your hand. Then I'll go to Sabha. You wanted to make a point?
Yeah, the only reason why Sharad Pawar is not playing the kind of prominent role that one would normally expect given his seniority is because he's preoccupied settling the NCP's internal affairs. He started a statewide yatra. He's preoccupied with that. Hence, there is absolutely no two ways. He will remain with the alliance. I agree with Sharad's assessment as far as Mr. Pawar is concerned.
Okay, okay. Sabha, but what are the challenges which you see, given the fact that both Javed and Sharaji have just said that the opposition alliance could be caught napping if the elections are preponed? What are the biggest challenges which you see before the India alliance? Of course, they are doing a lot of brainstorming. They have a lot of plans, but still the pace is not matching up at all with the kind of pace which is seen in the BJP camp or the NDA camp.
So, first of all, I have my sources tell me that it's highly unlikely that a convener will be chosen because of the in-built conflict. However, I believe that in Bengal, the seat sharing between Congress and TMC is almost final, and the left is so far not in the picture. It is ensuring Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary gets his seat and a few more to the Congress. Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, again, as my fellow panelists have said, it's very much the leadership which wants it. But without it happening, there is actually very little chance in Delhi. In Punjab, yes, Congress and AAP can fight among themselves. There's even been speculation of will the Congress attempt something with the Akalis, but it's very fuzzy. There are these stories going around that Amit Shah is scripting one plan with BSP and Asaduddin Owaisi in UP. There are also the stories going around because we have entered election season. This question of the early election intrigues me a lot. Is the BJP just creating a buzz, or are they actually going to go ahead and do it? Because an early election has a very complex. They are nowhere in Telangana right now. So what happens? I mean, they had hopes of 4 Lok Sabha seats. They're nowhere there. In Madhya Pradesh, there's very severe anti-incumbency against the BJP. Are we saying that Narendra Modi has such a great image that it will offset that, or could the anti-incumbency hurt the national campaign sometime later? So there are various things to consider. There's also the vote on account, which you then abandon. An early election gives two very interesting intellectual possibilities. One, that the Ram Mandir card is not actually an electoral card. It's a matter of faith because that peaks in January. then you're saying it is going to be your direct benefit schemes, which I do think are a big factor in the BJP strengths in the Hindi belt and all that. Then it's going to be, I don't like the word freebie, then it's going to be the direct benefit, the free rations in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. All of this you're fighting on that. You're actually not fighting on the religious ground, because even in Haryana, a full attempt. It's not about astha or religion. It is about unsettling society so that those who would not vote BJP are not in a position to vote. They're either dislocated or they're fearful, or if they are not of the electoral rolls. And this extends beyond Muslims. It certainly happens to Muslims, but it extends. I think in Haryana, there's been a bit of a backlash from a dominant community. So I think they're recalibrating a bit. It appears things are very bad, but there's also been a backlash. So they're recalibrating their own positions right now. The strategy, the Hindutva strategy is not just Ram Mandir then. We can say that that is something which they will attain on a civilizational ideological lesson. Do they rethink the strategy of sending the people who have got a lot of employment in India, daily wages at least, have been the young men who have joined so-called Hindutva brigades, loosely connected to the regime, but not you cannot find the legal linkages. They have. There are lots of. There's been reports about their activities. I see them. They came. They come all over Delhi. They have little events. Is that how much you use these groups to unsettle society, to create a climate? It didn't work in Karnataka either. So let's understand that. The expectation is that somehow it will create something in Uttar Pradesh, but will it? I mean, I don't know. UP is still a fortress for the BJP. Having said all this, early election is an issue. I would be very happy if they find a convener, but I don't think they'll find a convener. And my sources also indicate that it's unlikely because there'll be too much conflict over a convener. But they are working where they have become.
What I'm hearing, you said that your sources are saying that there won't be a convener at all. There might not be any kind of an announcement. But also on the secretariat bit, I'm also hearing, I don't know how far it's true.
Let me come to that.
There will be no common secretariat as well.
That I did not even ask that question. I wanted to know about the secretary. But what I'm told is what I believe they need to do is that they need to use. There are some parties in the game which know some organization, which have a lot of finesse, and I'm talking about parties from Tamil Nadu and all. They need to help the Congress and whoever there is in North India. They need to help SAPA and Congress in a certain kind of game about the technical parts of elections if they want to contest in that state, because they're not up to it. Because the BJP manages electoral rolls, bureaucracy, everything. So you need to have that kind of coordination. So already the idea of the India Alliance has already compelled the government to bring down some prices, and more will follow. I mean, obviously the government is worried about the arithmetic, though we can have another conversation. Does the arithmetic always work? It did not work in 2019 when Mayawati and Akhilesh were together. It strangely got Mayawati 10 seats and Akhilesh only 5.
But the dynamics, right? But Sabha, the dynamics which we are talking about brings me to the next question, and which I'll ask Javed on that, and I'll come back to you again. Javed, what about the seat sharing formula? Of course, all eyes are on whether there will be a formula at all. Will there be an announcement on a particular formula which can be arrived at for seat sharing? Do you see that happening smoothly? Because everybody is saying that that's a daunting task, for the opposition. And no matter how many meetings they have, till the last moment, that formula cannot be arrived. Many people are saying that as well. So what are we going to hear as far as the seat sharing arrangement is concerned? Are we going to hear anything solid and concrete day after tomorrow when the press conference happens?
Oh, certainly not. They're not going to announce that we've reached a seat sharing arrangement in X, Y, and Z seats. This will go down to the wire. This is not something new. In the 2019 elections, the UPA was virtually non-existent, but the NDA, they kept haggling about seats till the very end. In 1989, when Janata Dal came to power, there wasn't a perfect seat sharing arrangement. There were a lot of seats in which there were friendly fights. The concept of friendly fight was coined by Mr. VP Singh, where they put up candidates against the BJP, and they fought elections against the BJP. Although the BJP was in alliance in large parts of the country, and eventually BJP and left both ended up supporting the United Front government of those times. So therefore, there will not be a perfect arrangement, but a substantive arrangement, large in a large number of seats, they will be. It is a very, it's not an easy issue. It's never been an easy issue, especially when 12 or now 26, and they're claiming 28 this time. So if 28 or 30 parties join hands, it's not never going to be an easy issue. There won't be a perfect solution, but there will be, like in Bengal, there may, it doesn't make sense for the left and Trinamool Congress to ally, because then the anti Trinamool vote will go entirely to the BJP. So it may make sense for the left and Trinamool to contest, so that at least a part of the vote goes to the left, and the left should also get a presence.
Right.
Similarly, in Punjab, it may not make entire sense. In Delhi, it may make sense, but in Punjab, there will have to be some kind. So it won't be a perfect arrangement, but I do believe that there will be some kind of arrangement. But please don't expect that day after tomorrow they will announce that we've reached a seat sharing agreement. It will go down till the last date of withdrawal.
Right.
You take it from me. It even happens in a disciplined party like the BJP. So leave out all the other parties. It will happen. I do believe, I will once again say, I do believe there will be a secretariat. I do believe that there will be a coordination committee. There may or may not be a convener, and certainly they will not announce the prime ministerial candidate right just now.
Right. But Charaji, 26 parties, we are also hearing that few more parties might join the India Alliance. And there are reports that some parties from the NDA bloc might join the India bloc. But 26 parties and the India Opposition Alliance is also mulling over an 11-member coordination committee. Now, how is that going to happen? Will they pick one member from each party? Again, that doesn't resolve the problem to a large extent. And with so many ego issues, obviously the task is not easy. But how will they arrive at a consensus on this? Even if they are thinking of an 11-member coordination committee, how will that happen? With 26 parties and more parties now joining in.
That is what discussion is going to be about tomorrow. So how they are going to have that 11-member committee and who all are going to be there. That is going to be the discussion. And I think the Congress being the most dominant party, the largest party will have lion's share, whereas JDU and other parties which have say some uh, presence in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they get presidents, and there will be parties which don't have too much, means a significant presence in parliament. So they are going to play a secondary role. That's what I feel. So that is what it is, and there might be some parties which might not join in India Alliance right now, but they are there, and they are waiting for the elections to be announced. Or if they are not directly there, so maybe such parties like BSP, they may enter India Alliance at the last moment, or they may have a kind of seat adjustment. That's it. Understanding something is going to be there. There cannot be a say 3 or 4 corner fight in even states like Uttar Pradesh, and in whenever there is a one-to-one fight, so mostly BJP will be a disadvantage. However, let me put it, last time they did get more than 50% votes in some seats, but not everywhere. But this time things are different. There is distinctly anti-establishment vote, means BJP has lost popularity, and that we have seen in number of Mood of the Nation posts that India Alliance is fast catching up um, with the NDA and rather BJP, and that is the reason that BJP doesn't want India Alliance to get consolidated. That's why they might go for an early poll. That is one of the reasons. Secondly,
Right.
I don't think they are expecting the Ram Jan Bhumi temple to get them many votes, so they are not going to wait for that. Thirdly, this caste census issue is also again garnering momentum.
Right.
So BJP doesn't want it to spill out of control. One, and lastly, they are also worried about inflation, which is at 11% right now, and because of the deficient rains in some parts of the country. So if the inflation goes beyond that, so and it is likely to go up, that is another reason that BJP might go for ugly polls. And as Mayawati has already said that BJP has already booked 90%, more than 90% of private aircrafts and helicopters till
That's
December.
Mamta, not Mayawati.
Mamta has said that. Mamta has said. So if they have already booked all the aircrafts till December, and if the elections are going to take place in April, May, so there is no point of booking them right now. So there are a number of indicators that there could be an early poll immediately, could be announced immediately after the G20 is over, means before, could be around 15th of September. Let's see how it pans.
So one would have to really wait and watch whether there would be an announcement of the early polls. But somehow towards the end, if I may ask you, just ahead of the India bloc meeting, we've seen a very interesting poster by the BJP, India BJP, which has projected Prime Minister Narendra Modi today as a Terminator. And they say that he's set to come back in 2024. That's what the new poster says. Now, what is that poster trying to tell the India alliance? That, of course, BJP is very, very confident the Prime Minister is going to come back with a full thud? Or is it just a sign of desperation that they cannot catch up with the India alliance pace? How would you really read that?
No, I mean, I think it's just a BJP cell. Actually, technically, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is a villain in The Terminator. He's a very bad villain created by
Yes.
evil forces. Now, if
Hmm.
you want to put it like that, then you're playing into that, or
He's
you're
got it
just
wrong. Yeah.
he's a guy who's evil people put together this figure who's going to terminate all the good. So it's a very villainous character. So that, on a lighter note, that's all I can see. But let's watch the. Clearly, the BJP is worried. Even this talk of early elections, they go. I think the window closes in September, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Mid-September, you have to do it. I think the ED director also has to go by then.
Yes.
So,
15 September is the deadline.
15th September, maybe they will quickly call the election. I'm again on a flippant note from Transformer, but we are up. Things are up in the air. I just wanted to add that Sharad Pawar is also has the problem of the Congress in Maharashtra, where I was for a month in July, has a problem of Congress wants more seats now. Pawar lost all his seats. So Pawar is also positioning in various ways, and his party is full of people who have big, big assets. So they have to stop that. And but a very interesting thing has happened with the BJP in Maharashtra is that the BJP was fundamentally not a pro Maratha party. Now they've had to hand over power to Ajit Pawar. So let's see how those social contradictions play out in Maharashtra. Because what is so I think Pawar, one of his guys said to me, left brain, right brain often do not work together. It is, that's very, very good from NCP guy said to me. So
Right.
don't even try to understand.
Right. So all eyes
Okay.
now would be on the 2 days meeting, which is going to commence from tomorrow. Tomorrow is the informal meeting day where all the leaders will meet up, followed by a dinner hosted by Uddhav Thackeray. And day after tomorrow will be the day-long meeting, after which there will be a press conference. On the federal, you will stay tuned to the ball-by-ball coverage of what happens on this opposition India bloc meeting. Thank you so much, Sharaji, Javed Ansari ji, Sharad.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.